Hi there, welcome to the Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Doveston and this is the April 2020 giveaway video. Apologies for the delay on my side and congratulations to M on winning the giveaway for April, and we're going to work with her beautiful question for this episode. Right, so let's get into it. If you are new to the I Ching, I encourage that you perhaps go along and watch the playlist called I Ching 101 just to get a bit of a context. And of course, these sessions, although they are for specific people's questions, there's always something to learn. How we interpret, how we frame, how we work with the language, how we look at the storytelling of the hexagrams, and perhaps for you today, even if this isn't your winning entry, that there's a message for you to work with today. Right, let's get to it. So thank you, M, for your great question. We're going to ask the question, please advise M on what cosmic gifts does she have that can be shared and can help others now? And that is the question we're going to work with. So right, let us ask the coins. So we're going to be very clear in asking the coins, asking the I Ching the answer to the question. And of course, the way this process works is you know all the answers to what you need to do in life. We just sometimes need some help to get those answers out. And that's really what we're doing, is we're tapping into the subconscious mind and we're answering the questions we know that we know that we know. Right, so please advise M on what cosmic gifts does she have that can be shared and can help others now. All right, so we cast the coins. We let them fall when they're ready. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a male yang line. Right, and let us speed this process up. Okay, so here we have our answer to the question, the main situation. So our first hexagram that we cast, once we've done the 6 lines, this we can refer to as the present or the core of the situation, the current state of the nation, as it were. All right, and you'll see that we have this hexagram, which is 51 shock. We have had that on the channel quite a lot lately. A doubling of thunder. So here is thunder. I'm trying so hard to write neatly for you. Thunder over thunder, a doubling of shock, massive energy pushing up. And we'll get more into it once we've done all the unpacking. All right, so we have 2 changing lines. Whenever we have a 6 or a 9 on the count of the coins, that is a changing line. I always like making a little dot next to it, so it reminds me to highlight those and not make mistakes. And then as we take this forward, we take every line that's a changing line and we turn it into its opposite, because it's wanting to change. There's so much change in the situation that it's wanting to turn into its opposite. And here we have the energy of heaven over thunder. Heaven moves up with energy, thunder moves up with energy. Thunder moves up, thunder moves up. Right, so a lot of movement accelerating energy in this question. And this outcome hexagram, so we call it outcome, but it is also part of what is transforming, right? The transformation. What this energy is transforming into. So as much as we refer to it as the outcome, it's also about a process of evolution from this hexagram to this hexagram. And this is hexagram 25, Innocence. Very interesting. Okay, then the last thing I want to show you, and I did this before in a previous giveaway video, is looking at what's called the nuclear. And that is the heart of this situation, this present. And we divide it by taking these 3 lines, so that makes a new hexagram. I'm not going to get into all the story of how that gets formed. and Y. But that gives us a new hexagram. And this hexagram has water on the top. So that's water on the top, which sinks. And we have mountain, the bottom, which sinks and rests in energy. Okay. And this is called 39 obstruction. Okay. So let's get into these hexagrams, in particular have a look at what these changing lines are trying to say to us. Okay, so let's have a look at the question that has been asked and my interpretation for that question. Now remember, this is my process of how I'd work with and interpret the symbols that are in front of me. And if you work with the I Ching, you might have a different process, but isn't it a wonderful opportunity to share and to collaborate on different types and different approaches to working with the same thing? So this is my interpretation, and work with it as the best way you see fit. Okay, so coming back to the question, Em has asked, please advise Em on what cosmic gifts does she have that can be shared and can help others now. All right, so let me have a look at how this might present itself. If we come to this first hexagram, let's start here, the present, the shock. And I'm going to take two directions on this question. I'm going to take two directions. One is what you might be going through right now. And the second part is what others might need from your gifts. Because the question really centers on your gifts that you can help others with. Now with this 51 shock, and we'll get into the two changing lines, but 51 shock is lightning bolts and thunder. And I'm sure if you've all been watching the channel, you've been following along with this repeating story of shock, of sudden shake-ups, of sudden unexpected things. And with this hexagram, the shock initially comes and we feel fear. That lightning comes or that thunder boom claps above us and we immediately feel fear. And then once it's moved over, we feel a happiness and joy. It clears the air. And this shock, this process of shock of lightning and thunder comes to clear the air. Static energy that's stuck and locked and needs to be liberated. So if I take the process for you, M, this hexagram is pointing, in my view, to a process in your life right now where you are being shaken out of your old self. Something has happened. Put aside the COVID crisis for now as a global theme, and if that's really impacted you, then that might be the case. But this is more about you and sudden movement forward. Something that comes to help shake you out of where you were, of almost knocking you to your senses or clearing the air, and things being absolutely clear and fresh as a result. So there's a process of you going through the sudden acceleration that comes with the clearing out of all the stuck static energy. And then when we look at you and others, how might you help others? I feel like with this hexagram, what it's saying is that one of the cosmic gifts that you bring to other people naturally is you shake things up. Okay, so let's write the word shake up. I would imagine that you have a natural affinity of turning everything upside down, asking those difficult questions and being brave to really go where angels fear to tread. And maybe you just instinctively have this ability of just saying the right thing at the right time and creating a shake-up for other people. So in your energy, this is not a peaceful yoga master, right? This is a warrior that comes to challenge people to think differently. So I feel like, and let's see if you share feedback that I can share indirectly with everyone down the line, is in your essence, you are a warrior shake-upper. If that makes any sense. It's definitely not an English word. And so part of this process is recognizing your ability to clear out the stuck energy of other people, because you crash into that energy, as it were. You don't tolerate it, like you just give no room for it. So this is this shock energy. I want to come back to the changing lines, but what I want to talk about here is this obstruction. So we've talked about the shock, the sudden shake-up, this acceleration, this ability to create shock and shake up the status quo. Right, here we have the heart of the matter. And the heart of the matter, the nuclear, what sits underneath this, the thing that sits underneath this ability to shake things up is seeing what the obstructions are, clearly seeing the injuries, because obstruction is there's water or danger on the outside, there's mountain or restriction on the inside, and it's like you can't go forwards and you can't go backwards. You're stuck here, right? And so obstruction is the story of being blocked, being injured, of limping, of being impeded in being able to get where you need to go. And the way that you solve the problem is you go around the problem. So here we have a path. Okay, my pen is dying here. And here's a big block in the path. Here's a big boulder sitting in the path. And the fool tries to bash over and over and over against the obstruction. The wise person recognizes there's a way around and to do things differently and to overcome the obstruction with friends. Okay, those are friends, lots of friends, through help, but going around the mountain, around the obstruction. So the heart of this question you've asked about your gifts is your ability to see that obstruction. Okay? Seeing it clearly what the injury is and then bringing in that shock, shake-up energy to support. Okay? Seeing it clearly. And a lot of people don't have this gift of being able to see things clearly, of working with and being almost is obsessed or passionate about helping people overcome their obstacles. Okay, so this is really what's sitting at the heart of it, overcoming obstacles, liberating the energy through a shake-up approach. Okay, now let's look at these two changing lines. Now remember, the changing lines give us very specific advice, very particular things to think about. And these two changing lines, in a way, answer these two parts that I've unpacked for you. This changing line, okay, what it talks about is that part of what you're dealing with at the moment are some ghosts of the past. That's my take on a Casper. Okay, maybe he's not smiling, but the line talks about ghosts and things of the past coming to haunt you and work with you. And what's important is to not lose sense of your purpose. I often talk about this hexagram as being looking after the egg. Okay, so that's supposed to be an egg. That's in a nest. And we have this precious egg that we are responsible for, our purpose. And we have to, despite the shocks and the shake-ups happening around us and happening through us, we have to protect this egg. So it seems like at this stage, one of the things that I Ching is asking you to think about is that at the moment there are some issues from the past that are coming to work through you. They need to be worked through. That's what they're there to do. But to not drop your attention from the egg, from your purpose. Your purpose is important. And so underlying this question of being able to use your gifts to help other people, your purpose is important. Right now, there are some things here that are coming up that are needing your attention. So what you do have to be mindful of is not forgetting to invest time in dealing with these ghosts. Okay? They're here to come and help bring awareness to an issue of the past that needs to be released. Okay? Because this helps to release. This changing line now talks about others, okay? And it says that people around you are falling over with terror, with the lightning strikes in their lives. So this is about you, and this is about others, okay? And your task, your gift that you bring is your capacity to stay out of the drama, okay? Let's write drama and symbolically say no. So part of what you can do at this time, obviously it's not going to tell you a particular modality or, the I Ching can't answer it unless you ask a specific question like that. But what it's saying is that there's two things you need to do. You need to firstly apply this shake-up energy to you, dealing with these ghosts. There's stuff you're processing. And at the same time, your task, how you can really help others right now, because you can see their obstruction, you can see this drama and this panic happening around you, is to be detached and be the calm voice of reason. So this is not about jumping in and getting emotionally involved. This is about being detached, looking from the outside in, being anchored in that calmness, and just focusing on what needs to get done. So a very interesting process here for you of you work and others work, and tied back to the question around your cosmic gifts, that there's a very important role you play in helping shake people up, and in particular at this time is being very detached and calm in spite of everyone being hysterical. So for me, it's like the quintessential coach who, despite someone's big emotional process, or psychologists even, their big emotional process and their panic perhaps at this time of being the calm, detached, objective psychologist who sees the obstruction, who sees the pattern, and with that loving detachment helps to bring the shift and the release of the stuck energy. So where does this lead to? All right, so we come to the outcome. Oh, my page is full of these scribblings. Okay, so this leads to the outcome or the transforming process. And this hexagram is quite interesting in light of your question. It's 25 Innocence. And we have had this one as well. This is, I think we had it in the overview for 2020. So you can go and have a watch or a listen of that to go and catch up on that. And Innocence tells the story of being open to the unexpected. Okay, so unexpected events coming into our lives and how we deal with them with openness and spontaneity. This is also about letting go of control, which I think is so interesting for 2020, that our main hexagram is telling us to please let go of control because there are situations we cannot control. Isn't that true? So this particular hexagram is asking us to have the innocence and spontaneity of a child, of looking at a situation with wonder and seeing it for what it is, not with all the attachment and the noise we tend to put into stuff. And so I feel that, once again, if we take you and we take others, what does this mean for you? Part of the development work around your gifts and working with your gifts, obviously we always teach what we need to learn. So what we feel drawn to is often a process, an internal process of development that we need to go through. But for you is be mindful of being absolutely open to the unexpected, of things coming in packages that you didn't expect. And I think that for you, the question of your gifts and how you apply them, how you can use them right now, is all about being open to unexpected things manifesting for you, unusual opportunities that come in from the left field. I talked about on the video this being the unexpected pregnancy hexagram. But really it tells the same story of unexpected things being birthed through us. And your task is to stay open, 100% open to this process. So I think that how you're going to use your gifts and how you're going to unfold is a work in progress right now. I mean, we are all our work in progresses, but right now, in terms of your gifts question, it's about cultivating this spontaneous, open approach to them rather than trying to control it or try and set the direction of it. And then the second part is, how does it apply to how you help others? And my feeling is the same, is how do you help others stay focused on the childlike spontaneity and letting go of the need to control. You know, right now, with our world being what it is, our sense of control is really being challenged. So maybe these people running around screaming in terror around you are feeling this thing of control being taken away, and that being really difficult to deal with, or feeling controlled. And how do you support others to do that? So in a nutshell, I feel like, coming back to the questions, the gifts that you can share and can use others right now is your ability to see the obstructions, okay, to be tuned into the deep nature of what the real injury is bringing in your accelerant energy, your energizing approach to shake free those ghosts of the past for other people and for yourself. That your calm, detached way of looking at shock and acceleration and unexpected change can help people really right now. And that part of that's also about reaching into the unexpected and recognizing that letting go of control, helping people let go of control, bringing this energy of challenging them to let go of control is a way that you can help people and indeed yourself. I trust that was useful and can help guide you in your question. Thank you so much for submitting a question into our monthly giveaway. And of course, if you haven't yet submitted a question, or you have in the past and you weren't the lucky winner, remember, submit a new question or submit the same question every month. That's up to you. If you find the link below, click on the link and you'll find the entry to the latest giveaway. Get your question in there. Right, thank you so much. Remember to go along and subscribe to this channel or the podcast, depending on your flavor of choice, and follow the ongoing conversation on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram as we look into how can we align ourselves with the flow of change in our life. How can we develop who we are as people and maximize our opportunity to fulfill everything we're here to do, to live our gifts, as the lovely question Em has shared with us today. Thank you so much, and see you soon.